Good morning. My name is Rolf. I'm professor at the University of Zurich, and I'm going to speak about the digitization of antitrust proceedings and dispute resolution. My paper looks at other segments in which online dispute resolution is already taking place, trying also to shed light on RegTech as well as on algorithmic decision making. The presentation looks at risks and opportunities of the new online measures and assesses the legal framework governing these new mechanisms. Online dispute solution mechanisms are indeed available in many market segments, and the need has become obvious to look into these kinds of fast proceedings, for example, in financial markets, in consumer disputes, but also in information technology. Furthermore, online dispute resolution is existing in connection with the OECD guidelines regarding multinational enterprises, at least if the national contact points offer these possibilities. Taking into account the experience from other market segments, the following elements are important for a successful realization of online dispute resolution forms. First of all, transparency about the functioning of the procedures. Then the conflict managers need to be neutral and impartial. The basic procedural principles applied in ordinary courts are to be equally observed in online dispute resolution schemes, and the contents of decisions, as far as secrecy provisions do not play a role, are to be made public. The establishment of platform by antitrust authorities would make it possible to organize the exchange of information in an efficient way based on RegTech programs already applied, for example, in financial markets. Online dispute resolution following the automated processing of data and a complaint against the decision of the concerned antitrust authority speeds up the proceedings, making them more efficient and less costly. And thereby, the following substantive principles, as outlined in more detail in my paper, are to be observed. Impartiality is important, including equal treatment. Then predictability of the outcome of the proceedings, equitability, encompassing fairness and good faith, and compatibility with the procedural guidelines which are applicable in the given context. In order to achieve a minimal harmonization of the procedural implementation and enforcement of the substantial provisions, the following criteria for functional equivalence should be taken into account. Accessibility as first criterion. The effective functioning of digitized proceedings must be warranted. Then transparency as a second element. The organizational setting as well as the digital proceeding should be transparent. And thirdly, accountability. The successful implementation of digitized proceedings is subject to compliance with responsibility and liability criteria. Finally, the most recent developments in the dispute resolution context concerns the decision-making by algorithms instead of humans. Machines are taking the decisions based on the available data sets and specific software programs. However, algorithmic decision-making is also confronted with concerns, for example, the bounded rationality and weaknesses as diagnosed by behavioral law and economics. All these elements need to be taken into account when online dispute resolution is implemented in antitrust matters. Thank you for your attention.